It's the big day in your home buying journey, closing day. You found that house, you're under contract, and you're thinking, cool, I just got to show up and just sign a few papers and I get the keys. Not always that simple. So let's find out why. Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Moving to Milwaukee channel. Today, I'm going to be breaking down what most of the first-time home buyers don't know about closing day. And this can include a lot of surprises that may catch people off guard, some money details, or other unexpected things that may come up just before things have ended. And I want to give people that look confidence when they walk towards and away from the closing table so they can feel much better about the situation and a lot less stressed. And just to be clear, not every situation goes bad. More often than not, things go pretty smooth as long as the deal goes pretty smooth. But these things do happen from time to time. And I feel like it's just worth putting it in a video, just outlining some of those things, just to take a little bit of pressure off and just shed a little bit of light on some things. So with that said, let's waste no more time and get right into it. If you are new here, hi, I'm William Loos. I'm a real estate agent right out of here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I help a lot of buyers understand the process before things get confusing, especially for any first-time home buyers, and I work out of the greater Milwaukee area. So if you're thinking about buying a home in 2026, clear out of your head and stress-free, reach out to me today. Give me a call. My contact info is on the screen and in the description below. I look forward to meeting you and helping you out with your housing goals in 2026. If you like the content that I put out here on this channel, be sure to hit like and subscribe to stay in the loop for when I release new content. Now, most first-time buyers may think that closing day is just a quick appointment, when in reality, it's sort of like a final checkpoint, so to speak, where a lot of important details will come together, and if you're not prepared, it can be very overwhelming. So let's talk about 5 of the biggest things that surprise first-time home buyers on closing day. The first surprise on my list is that the final walkthrough actually really matters. This usually happens between 24 hours to even upwards of maybe 3 days prior to closing day, or something even the morning of. Now, the goal of this is to make sure that the home is in the same condition as when you agreed to buy it. And any negotiated repairs were completed, hence an inspection contingency. Any appliances included in the offer to purchase are still there, and not to mention, nothing new is damaged or missing from the home to begin with. Think of it like very similar to a showing of the home, like when you first seen the home in person, but this time you're taking a showing of a home, really making sure that it's the exact same way as when we first walked through it, or certain things have been repaired or updated as per any negotiations that went on in between the transaction from acceptance to close. Now, here's what a lot of first-time homebuyers don't realize. If something goes wrong, you don't have to close that day. Now, in my experience as an agent, I have seen situations where there were repairs that weren't completed, or the seller left behind a little bit of junk, or there was some damage that happened between the moving out process. Now, any repairs that weren't done or any damage that took place, people like us, we can advocate for you, because this is where having an agent matters, because we can delay the closing and negotiate a credit, or not to mention, get things like that fixed before you officially sign those papers and take title to the property. Now, as far as any junk left behind, now, if it's garbage, then yes, we can definitely get that cleaned up per se. But if it's just a few little things that maybe the seller didn't want to take with them or doesn't really care to come back for, that's a different story. And that's a point where it could be, they might let you keep them as the new homeowner, or you can always donate or try to resell yourself, whatever you do with random little trinkets you find like at a rummage sale nowadays. Another surprise that is to first-time home buyers is how specific closing day requirements can be. So here's what you actually will need to bring to the closing table on that day. You will need a valid photo ID, you'll need a proof of your homeowner's insurance, and a lot of times you'll need to make sure it's squared away the wire transfer or a certified funds, depending on the title company. Usually they're in the form of a cashier's check, not a personal check. Also, and this is very important, never, ever trust wire instructions that are sent by email without verifying them by phone. The title company will usually send any instructions when it comes to wire transfers of funds ahead of time, and they'll be the best person to contact for these sort of instructions. Wire fraud is very much real, and this is one of the most common scams in real estate, and this is where those sort of things can really take a downturn. Now, the next surprise on my list is one that really can catch a lot of people off guard here, and that is that closing delays are very common in real estate. And even if it's when everything seems perfect, these things can happen and catch people off guard. And just a few very common reasons why a closing would be delayed is a wire transfer will arrive late. A lender may need to look at one last document or have signed one last document, which leads me to any missing signatures on certain things that are needed. Or if the seller is doing a pre-closing and signing their documents ahead of time, maybe they haven't finished signing their documents yet. In the state of Wisconsin, closings often happen at a title company and not necessarily an attorney's office. And for this matter, between scheduling and not to mention getting everything is done ahead of time as per the offer to purchase contract, timing matters. So this is where I always tell buyers, do not schedule movers for the exact minute after the closing table, because you never know if some things may go wrong and need to be delayed for a certain point. And to my next point here, most people will think once you get those keys, you are done. But there are a few important things first-time buyers forget to do after closing or will need to do. So with that said, here is a checklist for this next surprise when it comes to first-time homebuyers and after you are done with the closing. 1 is store any of your closing documents somewhere safe, whether you have it digital or you have the physical copies, because these are important things to reference, whether it's a few days, a few months, or even a few years down the road, especially if you resell the property. You may want to have those sort of documents and information handy. Next is to set up any utilities and trash with the local municipality if you haven't already. Utilities are usually prorated at closing from the seller, and of course, you're going to need electricity, you're going to need running water, so it's important to have those things set up for once you take the keys and are ready to move into your new home. Next, and this may not be super necessary, but sometimes people will change the locks for a good sense of security. You'll have the same keys you'll have that you walk through the door to begin with, and if you feel like you want to establish, some new locks just for secure purposes, or just strengthen the door a little bit. I mean, that's totally up to you. That is totally your forte. It's up to you what you feel like doing, but sometimes people might like to change the locks to go home right after the closing. Next is to forward your mail. Go to your local post office. Give them a new mailing address for your new home, because you don't want your mail going to the wrong address at the end of the day after you just bought a home. And in Wisconsin, if you're married, file for a homestead credit if you qualify. We are a homestead state, so sometimes it might be something to take advantage of in that sort of situation of buying a home. And that last point I just mentioned too can save you some real money, and a lot of first-time buyers don't even know it exists. Closing day in a real estate transaction is very exciting, especially when you're buying a home and everything is all done, all negotiations are done, everything is also crossed off. But it's also very detailed, and the more prepared you are for this sort of day, the smoother it's going to go. So if you're a first-time home buyer in Milwaukee area and you want someone walking you through every step before closing day, that's exactly what I help with. If you like this video or found it helpful, be sure to hit subscribe for more first-time buyer tips and tips on the Milwaukee real estate market. And if you're thinking about buying a home here, my name's William Loos, the local agent out of the area. I'd love to help. Give me a call today and let's walk through the process together. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you next time.